glad. Oh, another new share.
Oh, look at that.
Is that us?
Yeah, that's us. We're up. See that? That's us right there on the screen.
Technology
is cool. Hello, friends. It is me, Flip.
And it is I, John.
And we are back with a Thursday episode of Crushed and Pressed. Yeah, the horn really takes the cake there, John.
That's what we're all about.
Anyway, John, how's your week been?
It's been pretty good. I mean, work's been slow, but it gives me plenty of time to catch up on some interesting movies. Watched Wonder Woman, the new one, 1984. Awesome. Finally watched Ready Player One. Also awesome. Even if you're not into pop culture, like, go watch that movie, because it's just, it was a really good movie.
I don't know if you guys know this, but I really don't spend a lot of time, like, watching TV. I kind of just put the TV on.
And just listen.
And just...
kind of like what you can do with our podcast.
Not really even actively listen. It's just...
yeah, I wouldn't...
actively listen to our podcast.
Yes.
But you don't have to actively listen to the TV if you don't want to.
Like, I'm somewhat actively listening to Joey play Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
When he should be engaged in the podcast.
I am 100% engaged with all you lovely little demons out there.
Yes, look at them. Look at all the demons. I would like to act like I can see you guys, but I can't. I'm just looking directly at the camera because that's not awkward and uncomfortable at all.
We're focusing so hard. We are coming straight through your phone, computer, tablet, spiritually.
Just right here. I'm looking directly in your eyes in case you couldn't tell. This is the awkward breaking of the fourth wall that we like to talk about. It's kind of creepy, I know.
Feeling something.
Yes.
How was your week?
Way too long. Yeah, way too long. I spent far too much time working. I don't want to work anymore. I'm tired. I want to live a new life.
We're all at that
Can I put this life away and then just like go pick a new one? Like, is there like a bag that I can just like
defective.
Shake up and then pick a new one? Oh, Joey likes to keep his life in the cupboard.
I feel like mine is somewhere kept dark and dank.
Yeah, probably.
Very
sounds
moist
about right.
area.
Oh, like you're like moldy or something? That's weird.
I'm feeling a little moldy today, guys.
Okay. I don't have a special drink today. I don't have any drink near me. My coffee and my Gatorade are both back there. And
I ran out of my drink.
That's okay.
I drank it before the podcast.
It's fine. It's perfectly normal. It's fine.
We're drinking all this fresh air
in
the apartment.
Drinking in the fresh air in my apartment. The window's not open today, so it's not really that fresh. But anyway.
This recycled fresh air.
Anyway, you guys, it is Thursday, so you know we have a lovely story to tell you guys. That'll be that's John's part right here. John's going to tell us a lovely story about somebody's seasonal death or something. I'm not 100% sure, but John
or something.
That's John's aspect here, and
let me just point out, it is like nobody's ever committed a murder, because I was trying to stick to the theme, not repeat, but nobody's ever committed a murder, it seems like major murder, it seems, on New Year's.
Where are all my New Year's murderers at? Huh?
Right. No, well, I mean, at least none that were reported.
Huh? Okay.
Somebody get in contact with the Serial Killers Club.
Yeah. Can somebody call the SKC and let them know that we need somebody to commit a murder on New Year's so we can have a good story?
Preferably not one of us, though.
No.
Joey keeps telling me that I can't talk about people committing murders, but I can do that. I'm not encouraging you to commit a murder. I'm just saying.
2 more chili.
Joey made me Christmas chili.
And then, of course, because it is Thursday, we have a...
Daddy is hungry.
I don't know what the fuck just happened. I don't know why it happened, but it happened. Okay. Anywho, I don't even know how to recover from that. Let's just jump right into it. I have the news to tell you guys today. There's a lot of news to tell you guys today. There's a lot of shit going on in the world right now. So, I'm done with whatever the fuck that was. The first story I have to tell you. So the FBI and the New York City Police Department passed information on to the U.S. Capitol Police about the possibility of violence during the protests on Wednesday against the counting of the Electoral College vote. And the FBI even visited more than a dozen extremists already under investigation to urge them not to travel to Washington. Are we for real right now? We're for real. The previously unreported details undercut the assertion by a top FBI official. Officials had no indication that violence was a possibility, and they add to questions about what intelligence authorities had reviewed before the Capitol riot, which led to the death of an officer and 4 other people, including a rioter who was shot and killed by police. Just gonna leave that one there. You guys do with that information what you want.
I'm not gonna get into it personally, but I just like the dude that was dressed as like a bison.
Oh, man bear pig.
Yeah, and then there was the dude that had like the tattoo on his hand, and people were saying it was a hammer and sickle. And like when I first saw the picture, I was like trying to look at it. I'm like, it doesn't really look like a hammer and sickle. And then like 2 days, but then like 2 days later, I saw another picture that was like somebody zoomed in and like cleaned up the picture a bit, and it was the symbol from Dishonored, the video game.
Oh, word.
And I was like, man, y'all retarded.
Some weird people out here. Law enforcement officials across the country have expressed shock over the chaos that happened at the U.S. Capitol last Wednesday. Many police officers, some say that the police were entirely unprepared, and others were calling police response, quote, embarrassing. Many said it was the failure of the Capitol Police to prevent the physical invasion of the building by pro-Trump rioters that concerned them the most. Carmen Best, who was a chief of Seattle Police from 2018 to September and is now an NBC News contributor, which is interesting, said that, like many other Americans, she watched the events at the Capitol unfold on television, and she was wondering, where were the cops?
She's like, this shit wouldn't fly if I was still in charge. I didn't leave my cushy commissioner job to be a fucking news reporter.
Right. If they don't get there soon, what else could transpire? It felt like a very long time, and I'm sure millions of people were also watching and thinking the same thing. While she did not want to be overly critical of the Capitol Police, given the facts that are still coming to light, she said the response took way too long. I just really like the fact that like she was just like sitting at her like news desk and she's like, where are the police?
I really like in that article we were just reading, there was like a picture or something of like all the people that were rioting and whatnot, and like everybody has like their hats on, you know, whatever, just whatever. But there was this dude that in the corner I noticed was wearing a bicycle helmet, and then if that's not responsible rioting,
look, that guy is wearing a bicycle helmet right there too.
Is it the same guy?
Yeah, it's probably the same dude. Guy. Yeah, he's definitely wearing a bicycle helmet.
That man right there, responsible.
Yeah, he was like, I know what I came here to do.
It's just tier 1 right.
Tier 1 right.
He hasn't gathered the materials to upgrade it yet.
What is this article? Okay, so this article.
I am throwing flip off tonight.
Amid growing evidence that pro-Trump extremists were planning to target the U.S. Capitol on January 6th, the day that Congress was set to certify the election of Joe Biden as president, in recent days, Congressman Tim Ryan has asked the people in charge of security whether they had everything that they needed. I had conversations with the sergeant at arms and the chief of the Capitol Police who gave me assurance that every precaution was being taken, that we had enough manpower, and that we were going to keep people completely away from the Capitol.
I mean, there was a lot of people that showed up to try to keep everybody away from the Capitol.
What happened instead was a security failure that one federal law enforcement official described as the darkest day since 9/11.
Ooh, that's
hot damn.
I mean, I feel like that might be a little bit exaggerated.
Damn. That is intense. Not all the facts are in, but some are clear. Defense Department officials said Thursday that during the planning meetings prior to January 6th, led by the Justice Department, city officials, and federal law enforcement agencies, requested only modest support from the National Guard and did not anticipate a large-scale violence. The Pentagon agreed to provide 300 unarmed troops, mostly just to oversee traffic checkpoints and metro subway stations.
When you compare it to like the couple thousand people that showed up, unarmed cops, not
really doing anything.
not really doing it for me.
Just to manage traffic, though. They were like, you know, they were like standing out there like waving batons.
Yeah, it was literally just the guys with flags
here. Like, okay, park over there.
You got that one guy that's just standing there like,
yeah. Grief. Okay. An armed 79-year-old Louisiana man was shot by police who had a warrant to check his house in connection with child pornography investigations. Tuesday, according to NOLA.com, when officers arrived at the Melterre, Louisiana home of James Millett, his wife reportedly came to the door while her husband awaited police in a bedroom where cops say he was holding a gun. A deputy shot him, who was said to be recovering from a shoulder injury in an area hospital on Wednesday. No bond has been set. Authorities booked him for alleged possession of pornography that amounted to 36 counts of sexual abuse on animals, 7 counts involving juveniles, and 2 counts related to materials involving a victim under the age of 13. He has also been accused of aggravated assault on an officer.
Wait, so was the guy who shot him supposed to be in the hospital, or was
no,
the guy that got shot supposed to be?
He was in the hospital.
Okay.
A really pissed off former Border Patrol agent in upstate New York is accused of spraying urine all over his supervisor's desk. You see what I did there, you guys?
Oh, man.
He was really pissed off.
Oh, man.
Just before he retired. Federal authorities said...
You know, I'm glad you said that he
was pissed off.
I'm glad you didn't say that he thought his job was shit, because
No, he was pissed off.
That could have taken a different turn.
Eduardo Flores Jr., age 50, has been charged with... What is that? Depredation of government property and could face up to a year in prison and a $100,000 fine if convicted, according to prosecutors.
I feel like that's... A year in prison is not that bad.
I'd rather just take the year in prison over the $100,000.
Right.
The suspect went to his supervisor's cubicle at the Border Patrol station in Towanda on August 24th and began to spray and pour urine throughout the space, splashing his bodily fluid over the victim's desk, chair, computer, books, and even picture frames.
Wait, so he sprayed and poured. So he had some in the
chamber,
he was
like,
too.
He was waiting. He saved some up in a jar, and he was like... That's not enough.
Yeah, let me get the right angle.
A pungent odor that resembled the smell of urine continued to emanate from the cubicle when the supervisor returned to work days after the incident.
Oh no, it fermented.
Yeah. Border Patrol had to hire a cleaning company and pay $400 to get rid of that mess.
Yeah, I mean, there was a freaking kid in high school that, I don't know if you were still...
Are you talking about the kid who shit on the door?
Yeah.
I was still there.
All over the door. He was like my favorite teacher, too.
I didn't even go there and I heard about it.
Yeah, everybody knows about that.
She was like my favorite teacher.
That kid took a crap in his hand and then just smeared it on the door because she gave him an F. Anyway, a Texas woman is accused of bringing a child overseas so doctors could mutilate the girl's genitalia. A disturbing case that marks the first time federal prosecutors have brought such a charge in the U.S. Zara Badri, a 39-year-old Houston resident, was slapped with a federal indictment this week, charging her with knowingly transporting a minor from the United States to a foreign country to a foreign commerce for the purpose of female genitalia mutilation.
Now, see, I thought that. I mean, I guess it's because she was a U.S. resident and was brought to a different country.
Right, you can't transport a child to a different country.
Well, because I know that was like a huge thing that like they can't stop other cultures from doing that, even though like I know like the UN has tried stopping that for years.
Right, like you can't. Like, we can't go to another country and stop them, but this woman was here.
It specifically went from here to there.
Yeah, it specifically transport this child to another place. Anyway, gross. The practice of removing a child's genitalia, which is a brutal procedure that has been reported in dozens of countries in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East, has been banned in the U.S. since 1996. Why only 1996? I don't have the answer for you. Congress amended the statute in 2013 to prohibit the transportation of a victim from the U.S. to another country for this purpose. This week's indictment is the first since that change. The Texas incident happened sometime between July and October of 2016, but prosecutors have not released any other details. The victim's age and relationship to the suspect are also unclear. For those of you who don't know, female genital mutilation is a part of a cultural and religious practice that aims to curb a woman's sexuality with the notion that girls are clean and beautiful after removal of their body parts that are considered unclean, unfeminine, or just male.
So, off of that, have you guys noticed, I saw a billboard on the way to your house. There's a billboard on the highway saying circumcision is bad.
It's really great. Like, I don't know what we're going through.
I guess you can just, if you got the money, you can just make a billboard
for anything.
Do we have the money to make a crushed and pressed billboard?
No.
Oh.
Donate. If you leave us tips on our Patreon, we'll go ahead and get a crushed and pressed billboard. But like,
dope.
3 Pennsylvania men who sexually assaulted more than a dozen animals over a 5-year period will spend up to 41 years in prison. And I swear to God, this is what it said in the article. The animal lovers, Matthew Brubaker, Mark Meanskoff, and Terry Wallace, were sentenced to 20 to 41 years after sexually assaulting 9 horses, a cow, a goat, and several dogs. It said that they hired a teenage boy who was tasked with restraining the animals for them to perform.
How do you restrain a cow?
Why would you even want to have sex with a horse or a cow? You know what? The first guy had animal porn. These people are just fucking animals.
I feel like it would take more than one guy to fuck a cow.
Well, could you imagine like one 15-year-old kid is like holding the cow down?
I feel like it would take at least 2 guys to fuck a cow.
Definitely. Well, that's why there were 3 of them. Cover all the bases, John. The federal government put Lisa Montgomery to death early Wednesday morning, the first time it has executed a woman since 1953. She was killed by lethal injection at a federal prison in Terre Haute, Indiana. The 52-year-old woman was pronounced dead at 1:31 a.m. Montgomery got the death sentence in 2008 for killing a pregnant woman in 2004 and stealing the fetus. The baby did survive, though. So. Montgomery is the 11th person that's been executed by President Trump's administration since July. Prior to that, the federal government had not executed anyone since 2003. The administration killed her 7 days before Joe Biden was set to take office. He is an opponent of the death penalty. There's a huge article on this right now, basically stating that because they know that he's an opponent of the death penalty, they're trying to put as many people to death as possible. Which, I don't know, but...
I don't know, but I feel like 1:31, killing somebody at 1 o'clock in the morning is just really weird.
Yeah.
I feel like that's an afternoon activity.
An afternoon activity! You grab lunch and then you're like, I can't wait to see if they get murdered today.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that, but... I mean, you're waking this poor person up in the middle of their sleep. They're just having...
She was having her last meal prior to that. She was chilling, dog.
I mean, taking a nap and then, then you get woken up and be like, all right, time to die.
It do be like that sometimes. Mary Catherine Horton and John Joseph Yovach of Wilkinson County. Yeah, that was a lot. John Joseph Joey Yovach of Wilkinson County. Yeah, right? Who have been charged with child cruelty and second-degree murder were each granted $100,000 bail on Monday. Wilkinson County sits about 30 miles east of Macon, Georgia. They are sentenced to death because of the September 2020 death of their daughter, Caitlin Yozvak, which might have been an indirect result of potentially years-long lice infestation.
Fucking gross.
The autopsy results are still pending, but medical records from September attribute her death to cardiac arrest with severe anemia listed as a secondary cause. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Ryan Hilton testified that the lice infestation was the most severe ever seen by the GBI and could have lasted imminently for at least 3 years. He also believes that several bites from lice lowered her blood iron levels, which resulted in anemia and eventual cardiac attack.
An obnoxious amount of lice.
3 years worth of lice. YFN Lucci, I don't know who that is, but he's an Atlanta rapper. He's wanted in the fatal December shooting of a 28-year-old man. The lyricist, whose real name is Rashawn Bennett, faces felony murder charges in connection with his alleged role in the shooting of James Adams, according to the Atlanta PD. Adams was found lying in the street with a deadly gunshot wound to his face on the evening of December 10th. Multiple shell casings were found at the scene in the Oakland City neighborhood, a police report says. And another victim survived a shooting that may have also been related. Ravon Boyd, who is 23, and Leroy Pitts, who is 17, were also charged in connection with the fatal shooting. They have been arrested. But Bennett, 29, also faces charges of aggravated assault, participation in criminal street gang activity, and possession of a firearm during the commission of a felony. He's that guy who sings Every Day We Lit, right? YFN Lucci? I don't know.
There's a lot of YFN.
I don't know who these people are.
YFN Lucci Doors.
Okay. A Texas woman and her boyfriend have been charged with capital murder on Tuesday in the senseless killing of her 8-year-old son, who was found badly injured and unconscious in a Dallas area hotel. Police accused the couple of violently abusing him for at least 10 days before he was killed in a hotel near the Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. I don't know what. A woman in Canada was caught walking her husband on a leash as if he was a dog in an attempt to get around Quebec's newly imposed curfew to slow the spread of COVID.
Listen, we don't kink shame. Puppy play is a real thing, y'all.
It, of course, was illegal. You cannot do that. And again, in the article, I swear to God it says this, that guy had it rough. I don't like, you guys are trying to add humor into these news articles. It's great. A New Hampshire woman is under arrest for child endangerment after sending her 3-year-old child to daycare in a lift. There's no humor in that one. Stephanie Godot was arrested on Friday and charged with endangerment of a child and resisting arrest.
What did the Lift driver even do?
Like, I don't know.
The little kid just
like,
climbs
what do you
in
like?
and
You
be
just,
like, I'm trying to go to school, and he's just like, where's school? And the kid just draws him a picture.
The kid's 3. He probably was just like, school, please. Like, I can't even.
Mom's slapping the roof of the car, like, all right, get going.
See you later. 2 months shy of his 2nd birthday, a boy arrived in the ER last October with brain injuries and was rushed into surgery. Detectives then spoke with his parents to find out what happened, and the parents claimed that 2 dogs got loose in the family home west of Lake Worth, that's here in Florida, and knocked the defenseless toddler into a toilet. Doctors said there was no way that would result in that would have caused a broken skull, bleeding in the head, and bruises, which 6 days later, of course, resulted in his death. Prosecutors filed manslaughter and child abuse charges against Ernest Lee Jenkins, who is 23. He's, of course, pleaded not guilty. Right after the incident, state child protection authorities took custody of the other 2 young children that were in the home, which was an infant and a 3-year-old, and they continue to review what exactly happened in the home.
I feel like a 2-year-old isn't tall enough to just get dunked into a toilet like that. Like, just be knocked into it.
Well, you remember what I learned today? If they ain't cruising, they shouldn't be bruising. So...
Oh my God.
Just because why not? I took a training today on traumatic head injuries for children, and that is legitimately
what was the baby shaking picture?
Don't shake, take a break.
Yeah, take a break, don't shake. And the baby was like,
the baby was headbanging is what that baby was doing. It wasn't shaking baby syndrome. That baby was like,
yeah, it had a noodle neck.
Fucking Christ. A Milwaukee woman died after being attacked in a park last September, and footage appears to show that she was attacked by a group of young people, none of whom have been arrested, according to search warrants obtained by local media outlets. E. Lee, who is 36, was found unconscious by police around 9:30 p.m. on September 16th, close to a pond in Washington Park, and she died 3 days later from blunt force trauma to the head. The Milwaukee police said that Lee was last seen walking into Washington Park at 6:18, wearing a light blue and gray hooded sweatshirt and carrying a green coat and a yellow bag. Surveillance footage in the area picked her up being chased by several people leaving the park after the incident. According to recently released search warrants, footage allegedly shows a group of people under a tree near the pond. She appears in the footage and is seen running off towards the pond, being chased by 5 to 7 people.
Damn.
Yeah. Robert Sanford, a 55-year-old retired firefighter from Chester, Pennsylvania, has been arrested and charged with 4 federal charges. Why? Because he was seen throwing a red object, which appeared to be a fire extinguisher, at a number of Capitol... Hello, Mike. He was seen throwing a fire extinguisher at a number of Capitol Police officers on January 6th.
Oh, Jesus.
The fire extinguisher bounced off the head of one officer before hitting 2 additional officers. This, of course, was a separate incident from the one in which Capitol Police officer Brian Sicknick was killed, though Sicknick was also allegedly struck in the head with a fire extinguisher.
Really easy to toss a fire extinguisher? Like, I always thought they were a little on the heavy side. But this man happened to get a ricochet 3 shot.
You know, he's just like this, and he just like, launched it. I don't know. A now fired pharmacist in Wisconsin had his license suspended by a state board after he was accused of intentionally spoiling more than 500 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. Stephen Brandenburg will not be allowed to practice pharmacy in the state or work at a pharmacy in any capacity while the suspension is in place. The order said Brandenburg was first licensed as a pharmacist on August 22nd of 97, and he voluntarily agreed to the suspension in order to focus on his anticipated criminal cases against him. He was working as a pharmacist at a medical facility in Grafton when he allegedly removed COVID-19 vaccine doses from refrigeration units on December 24th and 25th with the alleged intent of rendering them ineffective.
I mean, fuck just taking his license away for the state. Prohibit him from
ever
pharmacizing anywhere else ever again.
Pharmacizing. I like that word, pharmacize. A Lake Ham man suspected in a string of sex crimes in the Minneapolis area pleaded guilty on Thursday to 5 counts of criminal sexual conduct. The plea deal for Jory Wybrand, what a name, calls for a prison sentence of nearly 46 years, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office says. Authorities say that the sexual assaults took place between 2015 and 2019. Prosecutors first charged him in April for 2 cases from 2019 where he allegedly broke into a Minneapolis home through windows and assaulted women. His sentencing hearing is scheduled for March 11th. Joey's back there throwing up his hand. It's his birthday.
Jesus Christ.
I kind of thought you were going to say he was going to work on his album. Can't stand it. A white man who stabbed a black college student to death at a bus stop on the University of Maryland's flagship College Park campus was sentenced Thursday to life in prison for what prosecutors claim was a racially motivated hate crime. Oh, now you can see him over there. Look at him.
Joey just straight chilling.
Joey just be chilling. Is that Sean? Is it Sheen? Is it Sean? I don't know. Sean Urbanski, age 25, apologized to the parents of 23-year-old Richard Collins for the horrible pain he caused them and said he wishes he could go back and change what happened on the night in May 2017.
Usual story.
Yes. When he killed the newly commissioned Army lieutenant. There hasn't been a day that's gone by where I haven't thought about what I've done to you, and if I could switch places with your son, I would in a heartbeat. Urbanski told Don and Richard Collins Jr. during a hearing conducted by video teleconference. Prosecutors had sought the maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole, but Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Braveboy and defense attorney William Brennan said after the hearing that Urbanski will be eligible for parole under the judge's sentence. Circuit Court Judge Lawrence Hill Jr. dismissed a hate crime charge against him before a jury convicted him of first-degree murder. But the judge said that on Thursday that he believes race and alcohol were both factors in the killing. Hill said he doesn't believe it was a coincidence that he needs a DeLorean. Right, exactly. He said that he doesn't believe it was a coincidence that Urbanski stabbed the only black person at the bus stop.
I mean, that's pretty sus.
3 human rights activists went on trial on Wednesday in Poland for alleged
desecration.
Sorry, my eyes are bad today. For alleged desecration and offending religious sentiment by adding the LGBT rights movement's rainbow symbol to several posters of a revered Roman Catholic icon and publicly displaying the altered image, including on garbage bins and mobile toilets. The activists have said that they created the posters that use rainbows to replace the halos in the icon of the Black Madonna and baby Jesus, to protect what they saw as the hostility of Poland's influential Catholic Church towards LGBT people. Really?
Alphabet, yeah.
One of the defendants, Elizbeta Podlinesa, said in court on Wednesday that their 2019 action in Polk was spurred by an installation at the city's St. Dominic's Church that associated LGBT people with crime and negative behavior. The 3 don't deny putting the stickers on the walls and elsewhere around the church, but do not admit putting the stickers with the image on garbage bins and toilets. They deny any wrongdoing. I mean, I don't...
I'm in a place for everything.
I mean, they're not, wrong. Like, but when you're in Poland and your laws are pretty fucking strict. Like, anyway, a Wichita man who abused 3 young children related to the woman he knew or dated has been ordered to serve 9 consecutive life sentences.
Good God.
Nathan Brazil, age 61, was sentenced on Tuesday to 9 counts of abusing children as young as 6 or 7 between 2016 and 2018. Fair. Totally fair. Under Kansas law, sex crimes against children younger than 14 carry a presumptive sentence of life with eligibility of parole after 25 years.
I mean, the man's 61.
Yeah, and you might as well. Because a judge ordered the 9 sentences to be served consecutively, he would have to serve 225 years in prison before being eligible for parole. Brazil was convicted in September of 2019 of multiple counts of aggravated indecent liberties with a child, attempted aggravated criminal sodomy, rape, and attempted rape.
Attempted aggravated criminal sodomy. That wow. I mean, that just sounds like a hell of a
A West Texas flower shop owner who posted a video on Facebook bragging about House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's office being broken into during the U.S. Capitol riot last week was arrested on Wednesday in connection with the riot. Oh my God, okay. A Houston police officer suspected of taking part in the mob attack on the U.S. Capitol is under investigation. The officer has been placed on administrative leave and will face disciplinary review hearing on Friday. The patrol officer is an 18-year veteran with the department. He attended the January 6th rally in Washington, D.C. in support of President Donald Trump, which is allowed under his First Amendment. But, so you're saying there's a shot for parole. Yes, after 225 years.
225 years. You make it that far?
I'm impressed. That man is modern medical miracle.
I mean, you get into prison and somebody finds out, you start messing with kids. I'm surprised make it 225 seconds.
Yeah, right. He was totally allowed to go in support of Donald Trump because that's his First Amendment right. But investigators determined the officer later joined the mob that breached the Capitol building. Tem Pham confirmed he was the officer and told the newspaper, "I shouldn't have done it. I was just there to take pictures." He declined to say whether or not he actually entered the Capitol. A lot of stuff happened that day. I wasn't in the right mind. I just, what? Authorities began investigating him after a Houston resident on Sunday emailed the police chief a photo showing him at the rally draped in a Trump flag. So, you're just there at this rally and you're like, I'm just going to take pictures. And then you're like, don't really remember what happened because a lot of stuff happened.
A lot of stuff.
I don't know. I don't like it.
I don't know about being prosecuted at work for your political beliefs.
But he stormed the Capitol, and that's the issue.
I suppose that would be.
That's the issue. 2 18-year-old men and a juvenile have been charged after racist graffiti was found on Kirkwood High School, Nipper Middle School? I don't know. And North Kirkwood Middle School. The 2 adult suspects, Daniel Moore and Christian Reese, were charged with property damage for all 3 locations. The juvenile's case has been referred to the St. Louis County Family Court. Why was it referred to family court? Whatever. The school district...
I thought you would know.
No. The school district said one suspect is a current student and the other 2 are Kirkwood High School graduates. Dozens of people gathered at the high school on Wednesday to protest the racism and vandalism. Kirkwood Superintendent David Ulrich thanked the community for supporting the students and staff since the vandalism was discovered. He said the district will work with student leaders and the community to create a school climate of equity and safety where everyone is inclusive of one another. That's a nice statement. I like it. Have fun storming the castle.
Yeah, we're going to make it like a video game.
Right? During a bond hearing on Wednesday, a judge in South Florida... What? That doesn't even make sense. A judge of South Florida. I didn't write that article either. During a bond hearing on Wednesday, a judge in South Florida, I'm going to assume that's what it was supposed to say, told a South Florida pediatrician to stay away from children following his arrest on child pornography charges.
Oh, no, good call. Good call.
Judge Corey Amanda Cawthorn set bond at $30,000 for Dr. Michael Mizraki, age 49. He will be allowed supervised visitation with his 2 children, including one under the age of 18.
The man's a doctor.
He's a pediatrician.
Pediatrician, sure, but $30,000?
It's a bond, though, so he's only going to have to pay $3,000.
Yeah. Which
is nothing to him. Unreal.
So I can't believe you had that much for the news. So much.
Well, you have to catch up from last week.
I suppose, but now mine is gonna seem so puny.
That's okay.
So much said. You didn't even have any good news. Normally you sprinkle in like a little nugget, solid advice.
I had a funny one about that man pissing on the desk because he was pissed off Also had the funny one about the lady and her husband who has a rough life because he walks him like a dog.
All right. Just saying.
I just didn't end on those. Solid advice.
That's what I'm saying. It's solid advice. Well, all right. So today I'm going to be talking about the Ashland tragedy. So on the night of December 23rd, 1881, in a small town near Ohio River in Ashland, Kentucky, 3 teenagers were staying at the Gibbons household while the father was off working in another town, and the mother was away until the next day visiting her eldest daughter, who was 17-year-old amputee Robert Gibbons, along with his 14-year-old sister Franny Gibbons and their friend 15-year-old friend Erica Carrico, who were fast asleep when 3 assailants entered to wreak havoc. Emma's mom, a nearby neighbor, looked out the window earlier in the night to check the kids in the house, and everything seemed normal. Later, the sound and sight of flames caught the attention of the neighbors. 3 victims were found dead inside. An axe and a crowbar, the murder weapons, both saturated in blood and hair, were also found on the scene. The physicians that attended the crime scene reported that the victims had died from being bludgeoned to death, with their skulls smashed to pieces. There was also evidence that the 2 girls had been brutally raped. It was concluded that the arson was committed in an attempt to cover up the crime.
Just so everybody knows, I'm not laughing at John's story. I'm laughing at Mike's comment where he says it's better to be pissed off than pissed in. So,
I've been one, but not the other. Which one is
the question?
So I can't comment, Mike. I will take your advice.
Yes.
Solid advice.
Yes, solid advice from Mike. Fuck.
Dawn broke on Christmas Eve and word of the gruesome murders spread through town. Although crimes like robbery and drunken fights were of the norm in this town and in this era, homicides of this nature were not. Townsfolk were left shocked and appalled. After days of investigation and questioning various people, George Ellis, after displaying signs of guilt, soon confessed to the crime, thinking it would buy him leniency, and implicated William Neal and Ellis Craft. He claimed that they had been discussing the crime for months. William Neal had supposedly claimed that he was going to have carnal communication with Emma before Christmas Day. In his first confession, one of a few, and the one this article recanted, said, "A few evenings prior to the 24th, I met Kraft, who stated that he was going to see Fanny Gibbons and take her some black candy and that he was going to have intercourse with her and he wanted to come along."
What?
This was 1881.
You're right.
I guess,
you're right.
so
You're right. I'm going to bring her some black candy.
Kansas.
Licorice?
Licorice.
Oh, okay. All right. I was just wondering what the black candy was.
That's what I assumed was just licorice.
All right. I used to call it black candy back then. That's fine.
Yeah, whatever. Any other black?
No, it's just licorice.
Licorice, yeah. Yes, thank you, Mike. About midnight the fatal night, we all started Kraft, Neal, and myself, and when we got to the house, Kraft raised the window with an old axe and stepped in first. Neal followed, and I stayed behind on the porch, and afterwards I went in. Robbie was the first aroused and started to get up when Kraft said, "You had better lie still." Kraft then went to the bed where the 2 girls were sleeping and began to take improper liberties with them. Robbie said, "You had better stay away from there," when Kraft hit him with the axe.
I don't know. I'm very confused. Carnal communication, black candy, but also, if he's going to the house to have intercourse with her, and he brings her some black candy, it seems like he's just
really sealing the deal.
He's like smitten with this girl. Like, I'm gonna bring her some black candy.
Well, clearly she's like, I don't like licorice. Who the hell likes licorice?
Who the hell just eats licorice like that? But like, what I'm trying
to me some gumdrops, you peasant.
I'm very confused because he makes it sound like I was going there to meet this girl that I'm smitten with, and I was bringing her some black candy, and we were going to have carnal communication that night. But then he's like...
That's like something you say to confuse your kids.
Like, I'm confused. Because if you're going there to meet her, and then your friends are like, yeah, I'll tag along. Why not? Like, why? Like, I'm just, this whole story does not make sense.
It really didn't. That's why I had to share it. It was just so wild. But, like, I feel like the people who are like, yeah, I'll come and watch are like the same. Like, how do you meet those people? It's like the same thing with how do serial killers meet each other. How do you... I feel you should be reading this with a monocle. All right, I'll just cover one eye.
Like, your buddy's just like, yeah, I want to watch. Like,
yeah, like, oh, you're going to go have some carnal communication later?
And
Mind
some
if I
black
tag
candy?
along?
Ooh. Sounds like my kind of party.
Bring that up organically.
I'm not kink shaming.
Yeah, we're not kink shaming.
I'm just saying, like, what?
Actually, no. I mean, I did watch a video on Facebook earlier that this person was talking about how they were helping this dude pick out a dress for his wife in a store. And he was like, yeah, it's for a swingers party. And she's like, okay. And then after, like, she was, like, checking him out, she was like, he asked me, he's like, so we're encouraged to bring other people along. Do you want to come to the swingers party? So is that how they do it?
Yeah.
I guess if you're just that brazen to just...
But I'm still confused on the part that, like, he, like, is telling the story, but he's like, I'm gonna bring her candy, and we're gonna have sex.
Clearly she rebuked, like, she did not approve of the offering of black candy.
Break into somebody's house.
That is
like,
is the next natural step.
Is this like a rape fantasy? Like, what are we doing here?
Well, clearly, I mean, it went beyond that because both went over.
I'm just so lost by this man's stupid ass confession.
So Kraft hit him with the axe, and then he fell back on the lounge when they plunged forward and fell fully 6 feet from the bed under the stairs where he was found. The girl screamed when Kraft jumped on the bed, and they both said, George Kraft, what are you here for? Emma also started to jump from the bed when Neil choked her and pulled her onto the floor. She fought him, and I held her while he outraged her. Neil then struck her on the head with the big end of the crowbar, and she instantly died after throwing up her hands. Kraft also had some trouble with Fanny Gibbons and called on me to come and help him. He then outraged her and killed her.
Well, maybe if he brought her some better fucking candy.
Yeah, like...
who's on black candy duty?
Listen, now if anybody offers me black candy, I'll be like, yo, I don't want to be raped. So I'll take your black candy.
I'm also not trying to get murdered.
I'm also trying not to get... I like black licorice, though, so I guess I'm okay.
Yeah, you're safe. I don't understand, like, why this man even was like, yo, I'm going to go commit a murder. I'll bring her some candy first.
Well, so here's the thing. They said that they were planning this for months. So they were like, so if she doesn't accept my black candy, we're going to go in and, like, just rape her?
I don't know.
Like,
this man is just fucking twisted, dog.
That's a huge leap in logic.
I don't like this person.
Neil proposed killing the girls, and after they were dead, I took some coal oil, poured it over the bodies, and set fire to them with a match. We then left the house. So, I mean... And that was just his one confession. The other guys made other confessions that...
But did they make more sense?
They did not make any more sense. They actually kind of went against the evidence of what was available at the time.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah, put your hands in the air.
I don't even understand these people.
So, though we may never know the real story after numerous versions of confessions, William Neal was executed in 1883, and Ellis Kraft was executed in 1885, both by hanging. Whereas George Ellis was given a life sentence, but was later killed by a lynch mob.
That's a good story. Fuck that guy. Fuck all those guys.
So they all got what was coming to them.
Fuck all those people. I don't even understand.
And
is this the one, like, their family was at, like, a Christmas party, weren't they?
Yeah, it was like a Christmas party type thing, and, like, it was more like...
like, rape is just a huge leap in logic.
Right.
You are so right.
Fair point. Like, that is a fair point. I apologize.
Like he was just like, I'm gonna bring her this black candy, and if she doesn't like it,
then rape.
That's it.
Just instant.
Like, just like no logic. Just was like, I'm pissed. And then his friend is really the one who sounded like he was like, you know what would make this even better if we murdered them and then set the house on fire.
I feel like the murder wasn't intentional because he told them it's better if you don't move.
But he hit her with a crowbar
because she came at him. I'm not defending him. I'm just saying, I feel like the murder and the burning down the house wasn't intentional.
If you open my fucking window with an axe, I'm killing you. It's over.
Because that's why I just constantly play jazz.
Callback.
Yes. Callback to the jazz man.
Axe murderers won't kill you if you just play jazz music. If you jazz it. That's what you gotta do. Baby. You gotta jazz it. Just a fucking mess. Well, that escalated quickly.
No, I mean, it really did.
Yeah,
we went in, tried to rape them, they refused, so we killed them. Burnt down the house.
No, first he tried to coerce her with black candy.
Okay, well, yeah.
And then
maybe
she was already asleep, though. Just knock on the front door. Come on.
Yeah,
wait, wasn't one of them was an amputee, weren't they? What the fuck?
Well, it didn't specify what the amputation was. It's 1880s. It could have been amputated anything. Oh, man, I stubbed my toe. Guess I'm losing my foot.
But they specifically said she was an amputee. That's the fucked up part. That's the fucked up part, is that she's an amputee. So it's not like she's... if she doesn't...
the best at stacking
if she doesn't have any legs, then, she can't fucking run anywhere.
But then she just starts flailing with her arms.
That's why her arms were up, because she...
Or she starts kicking with the nubs. I don't know. You stub your toe, you lose your foot. It's 1881.
I want to know what was amputated. Because if it was her legs, then it makes sense that she put her hands up.
Maybe her ear was amputated.
Because then she couldn't run away. You can put your nubs up.
I mean...
I've said arm.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. This is just...
It was just a really
This whole story is just wild.
It was just weird.
Today was just a wild day.
This was a weird episode.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't know.
That's a bold statement, Mike.
I feel like licorice is the rapiest of candies. Oh my god.
Why would you say something
so controversial
but so bold? I can't
fucking imagine though, somebody opens up their fucking van door. Hey kid, you want some candy?
It's fucking licorice. I'm pissed. I'm like, nah, dog. I would be more upset. Okay, listen.
I can't refute Mike though.
So, homeboy opens my window with an axe, and then he's like, "Hey, do you want some licorice?" And then I'm like, "Extra no." Why?
No. I feel like the licorice was prior to this. It was earlier in the day that the licorice happened. But then he was like, "Guess I gotta rape you." And she's just like,
the
what?
The whole thing is just fucked up. Yeah. Then she... Don't offer me licorice, okay? If you offer me licorice, I already know it's about to go down. So
it's clearly the rapiest of all candies.
Am I wrong?
I can't say you're wrong, Mike. For the life of me, I'm sitting here trying to think of, is there a rapier candy than black licorice? And the answer is, I don't know.
Yeah, those taffies that are wrapped in the orange and black wax paper. Maybe that was the black candy.
Maybe. I mean, taffy, I guess, was
the taffy that's wrapped in that black wax paper. You know what I'm talking about? The old people
it's
candy.
Kind of hard to eat with your...
See, I told you the rapiest of candies. Yeah, I feel like What the hell were you about to say?
I was about to say, but I feel like it's kind of hard to eat taffy with the 4 teeth that the people in 1881 had.
She was an amputee, not teethless.
I mean, she didn't say she wasn't teethless.
Consensus here. Is black candy the licorice, or those disgusting taffies wrapped in the black wax paper?
Is there even any other black candy aside from that?
No, it's the ones...
even
licorice.
the root beer barrels they're brown. But I keep coming back to like licorice.
They wouldn't have had black candy corns back then.
No, see, Mike, it doesn't force itself on me. I kind of like black licorice. I'm not saying I also like to be raped, but like,
fucking Christ Almighty, like, what a weird episode.
Thank you, guys, for joining us on this fucking roller coaster of an episode.
Just a roller coaster of a Thursday in general.
Oh man.
Look out for the black wax candy, black licorice, all that kind of stuff. Don't eat it. Literally, it is.
Or should you eat it? If a stranger offers you black candy, do you just accept it?
Absolutely not. If somebody offers you black candy, you need to look for the axe behind their back before you take it.
But if you're an amputee, maybe you can't look for the axe behind their back.
Sorry for making it weird.
Licorice.
It's okay, Mike. You didn't make it weird. John and his...
No, Mike, if anything, you have given me something to think about.
Yes.
Is there a more
food for thought?
Is there a more rapey candy than black licorice?
Damn. Like, what is the kind of candy that you would imagine, like, one of those people who are like, I've got candy in my van would have? Definitely licorice. I feel like it would be licorice.
With a safety word. My safety word is black licorice, though.
Whoa. Sorry. All right. Anyway, you guys.
What was this podcast supposed to be about?
The news and that story that you told us about the black licorice candy.
Yeah. This episode was not 100% eat.
100% eat?
Yeah, just like black licorice. 100%. 100% yeet.
Yes, yeet.
Man, so we haven't done like final. Better be the full size candy. What do you mean, Mike? Trying to slip me the full size candy bar?
Peeps, yo. Hello, Marissa.
Hello, Marissa. You walked into some shit.
Wait, are you saying that Peeps are the rapiest candy? Is that your argument?
Peeps, I'd say, are more disgusting than black licorice. Oh. I'm just gonna go out there and say it.
What?
Yeah. Joey
what is wrong with you people? Peeps
rape.
Are fantastic.
And then Marissa, if you were just saying hello I'm sorry for what you just walked into.
Peeps are fantastic, dog. Like, Peeps are great.
I mean, if I want to, if I want the same fucking mouth texture, I can just go to the beach and eat a handful of sand with some marshmallows.
I think Peeps are great. Yep, Peeps from the clearance rack. That is the kind of candy that like rapist dude would have in his van. I have
a sleeve of chocolate covered Peeps that have been sitting on my desk at home for like 4 Easters now.
I don't know, guys. I think we should look out for John here. He's gonna like break into your window with an axe or something.
But I'm the guy who likes black licorice.
This booty will open for a fun size, is what I'm saying. No.
Did we mention that this podcast wasn't meant for children?
Rapey candy has to be. That's true. Yes, it's got to be slightly tempting.
So like Sour Patch Kids or Dots. I fucking
Dots. Are you like 85 or something? Like, is that what's going on here? Do you also like Whoppers? Like,
I don't like Whoppers because I don't like chocolate.
What the hell is wrong with you?
If I could get the malt like ball without the chocolate.
What is happening? I don't know. Today's episode turned into something really weird.
I think it started when I was like daddy hungry.
Yeah, that was the turning point there. That was it. And Joey's like, he said it again.
shooting me a dirty look over there.
I mean, this week it's just been weird, you guys. And
it's been a weird 2020 is a hell of a ride.
2021, dude, dots are delicious.
Thank you, Mike.
Dots and like jujubes and like.
What are you saying? You also don't like sugar daddies? Like the candies?
I don't like sugar.
Or sugar babies? I should have led with sugar babies.
You say you don't like sugar daddies? Well, I mean, I like money, so.
I should have. Or Mary Jane's?
No.
Or, I am winning.
No sugar babies, no sugar daddies, no Mary Janes. None of those little, like, what are those cow ones?
Oh, Cowtails.
Cowtails, don't like that shit.
Cowtails.
None of that.
Used to work at Cracker Barrel, so I had the hookup on all the old people candy, y'all.
The Crackle Barrel.
What are those strawberry things?
They're just called strawberries.
No, strawberries are called.
Strawberry hard candies, butterscotch.
All right, I do like butterscotch. I also really like Werther's.
Werther's original, but the hard candies, not the chewy
Definitely
ones.
The hard candies, not the chewy ones. Those are old people candies. But those are good old people. Grape Tootsie Rolls. Ugh.
Oh, and I mean,
I want to know why they even did that with Tootsie Rolls. Like, why were there grape and apple and orange Cowtails? Yeah, I don't like those.
Do you not know what Cowtails are, Mike? Because they're delicious.
They're just like stretched caramel, aren't they?
No, it's caramel. It's like a caramel stick, but it's got like that really like weird mallow cream going through the center. It's really sweet.
I think for me, it's just like the textures are off.
It did have a weird texture. I'll give you that
because,
one.
like, it's the caramel.
Not as
and
a
then
weird
the,
texture
like...
as a now and later. No matter if you ate it now or you ate it later, it was like eating a cement brick.
Now and later, it's just really knockoff fucking.
There's no good time for now.
Yeah.
It's like when you first try to eat a Hubba Bubba, and it's like you're just biting into straight concrete.
Okay, but I like
for
Hubba
the first
Bubbas.
couple bites.
Hubba Bubbas are the best. Hubba Bubba Bubblegum. Best.
Oh man. All right. So we used to do this thing called Final Thoughts. I've got 2 of them.
I was gonna say, was this the final?
This was
final thought. Is Cowtails?
We can't. Inflicted question. Cowtails?
But you like Peeps? Yes, Peeps have different textures.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
It's marshmallows and sand.
No, fucking stupid, dog.
That's all Peeps are.
What about a Zima?
A Zima soup?
Like the drink? You know, they make those now again.
Zima?
Yeah, like a drink. Oh. What about in a Zima? Am I putting the Peep in the Zima? Or are you putting the now and later in the Zima?
A Zima infused Peep.
If you keep talking about
yeah, if I were to commit murder, which I would not. If I were to commit murder, I had to say directly at the camera, which I would not. My last meal would be a Zima with a now and later dropped inside of it.
Oh, Peep.
Oh, Peep? Alright, that's fine.
You gotta squeeze a whole Peep.
Just gotta...
Oh, man.
The Peep is like... I guess sand is a texture.
Sand? Yeah. I mean,
there's something about that grit I like a lot.
Oh, no. Oh, no. So, fun fact for you guys. 2 of them. The origin of the word panic actually comes from the Greek god Pan.
So it did not occur at a disco?
Oh, man. I mean, it might have at one point. Right now or later in a Zima.
Yeah, I'm going to put now or later's in a Zima.
That sentence broke me for a second.
I'm going to go to Total Wine and buy Zima and then go buy some now and laters and try that out.
Good luck. Oh. Anyway, the word panic comes from the Greek god Pan, who was said to also incite a feeling of fear into anybody that he did not want to follow him. So there's that little fun fact. Just random word.
Yes.
doesn't like a gritty chicken.
I can't.
That is the one texture I don't want with my chicken.
That is so funny because Peeps, that's what they are. They're little chickens, so they're gritty chickens.
No, Peeps are anything but chicken.
Peeps. I honestly kind of prefer the bunnies to the chickens. I'll let you guys
There's
know
a
that.
difference?
Yeah, I think like the
I can't say anything. I like the Reese's Easter eggs entries versus like a regular.
Reese's Easter eggs are the perfect quantity, perfect ratio of peanut butter.
No, they're not.
Yes, they
There's
are.
far more peanut butter.
No. Well, yeah, that's the point. I don't like chocolate.
Perfect.
I don't like chocolate.
I'm gonna fight everybody in this house.
All right, well, I'm just going to start throwing black licorice Tootsie Rolls as I leave. I'm just going to leave a trail of them.
Yeah, like he's a flower girl.
Lead them right to your door. So this other thing I found interesting. In 1847, Robert Liston performed an amputation in 25 seconds, operating so quickly that he accidentally amputated his assistant's fingers as well. Both patient and assistant later died of sepsis, and a spectator reportedly died of shock, resulting in the only known surgical procedure with a 300% mortality rate. At least you tried.
Thank you, Mike. The ratio is wrong, and that's fucked up. I'm just
300%.
What the fuck?
See, 1800s. It's wild.
Why
ride.
were you moving? Like how? What? Like he was just like, all right, ready?
Amputation.
Like
you. Oh man, Doc, I closed my finger in this door. I guess we gotta chop off your fingers.
Stupid. Yes, you're right, Mike. The ratio is wrong.
I disagree with you, Mike. But that's okay. It's okay to disagree.
2 for 1. 3 for 1.
Oh man, yeah, 3 because somebody just died of shock.
Buy one, get 2 free.
Because, they just let reporters and people just stand around while they were doing surgeries back then.
They let people trample crime scenes back then, too.
They let people trample crime scenes now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Never. Like,
I don't know what you're talking about, but
okay. I think that's all we have for today. Sorry that we went off on a rant about candy, but if you feel like you know the best candy, just go ahead and
or
drop that comment, or the worst candy. If you think that Peeps are the worst candy, I want you to leave a chicken emoji in the comments below this.
Which we all know is going to be flooded with.
You guys suck.
Chicken emojis.
Chicken emojis. If you think that Easter egg Reese's are the worst,
leave a little egg
leave
emoji.
An egg emoji.
So,
do we have egg emoji? I think we do.
Leave
an egg emoji. I mean, we probably do. If you have a chicken, then you have to have an egg.
Right. But which came first? Which emoji came first?
Jesus Christ. The chicken came first. Just putting that one out there. Yeah, so you guys.
Do we have do we have a third person that solved our cipher yet?
No, we only have 2.
Go ahead and check our Facebook page. Try to solve our cipher. We dropped a clue in there for y'all. It was about the quote that was on there. So we still have one more slot to see who can figure out my cipher, my puzzle.
Yes, John created that cipher.
I did.
That's like mad rigid brain energy right
and
there.
I was so sad that 2 people figured it out within a day.
Mike, I'm not gonna be your friend.
Yay, Mike! I'll be your friend. We can go and not eat Peeps.
And eat disgusting ratioed chocolate to peanut butter candies and black licorice. Anyway. Yeah, so we do have one more slot. If you guys do get that, our 3 winners will win a prize of their choice from our Hunt a Killer box or a mug or whichever. You guys will win that.
Dealer's choice.
Yes.
And that's at our Facebook page, which is right down here. Wait,
oh gosh, wrong way. I forget that this is reversed like this thing. So they're over here.
Yes, all right. Okay. That top one is our Facebook page. You can also find us on YouTube. You can even go to crushedandpressed.com. It'll take you straight to the YouTube channel. Also find us on Twitter, Instagram. Always some cool stuff happening there. Definitely make sure you rate and subscribe for anybody listening on a podcatcher like Spotify, Google Play,
Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Anchor. I'm not kidding.
Nobody's offering. I promise. Nobody here is anyway.
If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always slide on into our DMs, into our comments, leave a question, leave whatever you want in the comments.
Like,
honestly.
share, review, give us 20 stars. I
thought he was going to say shave, and I was like, that's weird.
I don't know where I was going with it.
Yes, please like, share, and review with all of your friends and your family members. Share it all over the place. We love new followers. We love new listeners.
Wouldn't suggest showing them this episode, though.
Probably not the best episode to show them.
Not the best episode.
Because they'll probably be very concerned for our mental health, honestly.
Which that ship has long sailed.
I told my cousin the other day, I said, millennials, we are neither financially stable nor mentally stable. So we're just living our best lives.
The list of things I'm handling well right now is zero.
Yep. So, you guys, you know the deal. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. My phone is doing things in front of me. You
guys know the deal. Stay safe. Lock your doors. Take care of yourselves. Take care of others.
And also thank you to the Last Electric Rodeo for letting us use their song Bronze Age of Fire.
Horror.
Oh, man, did it again. I've only ever done this like twice. Bronze Age of Horror. I'm sorry, you guys.
John was thinking Ring of Fire, and that's what happened.
But no, what happens is the song is so fucking fire, and that's not a joke. It really is a really great cool song. Bronze Age of Horror.
Yes.
If you want to hear more, check out Last Electric Rodeo on YouTube.
On Facebook and at lastelectricrodeo.com. Their new album should be coming out this year. This year is 2021. Sorry, it took me a minute to process that. Their new album should be coming out this year, and it'll be great because our lovely co-host Ange has a track on there as Trinity. You guys will get to hear that. It'll be awesome.
Which I have never seen Ange hula hoop, and she posted a video on Facebook the other day, and I was fucking floored.
Yes.
I was hoping she was going to be on the podcast today because I wanted to tell her
how amazing her hooping is.
Fucking impressed. She did some tricks. I was like, my brain can't comprehend what I'm seeing right now.
That glowy, flashy hoop is dope too. Oh, anyway, you guys,
don't go out eating Peeps. Don't go out handing out black licorice. Mike, you stay safe out there.
Yes, take care of yourselves, take care of others, be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, lock your doors, don't murder anybody, don't get murdered.
Sound advice.
Murder somebody. Sure. All right, you guys. Thank you, everyone.
That's gonna be a bitch in post.
She does kill it. All right, you guys, you know.
Peace out, Cub Scouts. Bye-bye.